Hey, have you heard? Four-Legged Life has a new digital newsletter. Here, let me show you how you get yourself subscribed. So you just type in Four-Legged Life, and that'll take you to the website. There we go. And this magic thing just appears, and you type in your email address. I'll use, let's see, how about coolestdogever@gmail.com. That's me. And then you just click on this thing here. There you go. It's the new digital newsletter from Four-Legged Life. Get subscribed today.
We're going to go to the dogs on this special episode, specifically. And translation, we're going to focus on two rising canine issues: dog aggression and dogs dealing with separation anxiety. Our special guest today is a nationally renowned professional dog trainer, and he heads up the, I want to get it right, USA Dog Behavior. That's his company. And he's going to unleash some tips on dealing with these two issues. So please, at this time, give pause and applause to the remarkable Scott Schaefer. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Thank you, Art. It's such a pleasure and so much fun to be here with you today.
Well, we're going to dive into these two topics. I mean, aggression and anxiety, two double A's that we don't want in our dogs. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons why they're rising in these situations with our dogs. But people got to know you. So I'm going to have a little fun with you. Scott Schaefer's name is spelled Sheaffer. He's in Dallas. You know I'm going to ask you this. Isn't there another Scotty Schaefer in Dallas that swings a golf club?
Yes, I've heard. I've heard.
So Scotty Schaefer is number one, or he's number two sometimes in the PGA. But ladies and gents, we have the number one dog trainer here. He is more than on par with this golfer. What do you think?
I love that. That is so good. You're so talented at puns.
So this is a biggie. I mean, pandemic pups, you name whatever it is. We've climbed out of this pandemic. Many people during the pandemic adopted dogs. They were stuck at home. These dogs never, ever changed the remote. They let us binge watch. And then many people went back to work. So I know you're getting a lot of these kinds of dogs that need help. And I want to ask you, what happened with COVID to our beautiful dogs in these two issues?
Yeah, and I just call them my COVID dogs.
Okay.
And what I saw were several things happened at once. One of them was a lot of what I call FTDs, first-time dog owners, went out and got dogs. And God bless them, because I was an FTD, as you were at one time, Martin. Everybody was an FTD at one time. And these are people that weren't really very experienced in some of the basics, some of the things that most people assume that everyone knows about dogs. Well, that was their first dog, so they didn't know.
Right.
So they got them and they stuck him at home and they didn't let him out at all. And of course, they would get puppies a lot of times. And you know, that first 16 weeks is hypercritical for that socialization. It always is.
And potty habits too, please.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just didn't do that. And so we had dogs that were just fearful of everything because they just were never exposed to it. These were not bad dogs. It's kind of a theme I like to say. They were just fearful dogs. So they were fearful of humans. They were fearful of dogs. And I like to always say they were fearful of unfamiliar humans to them and unfamiliar dogs to them, which is really a confusing thing a lot of times for dog owners, as you know.
Right. So from that arc, you also, though, have had some dogs that have stepped up their growls, aggression.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And fearful aggression.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm talking about here. Is fear is what's driving this, because let's think of the basics here. When a dog is fearful, it doesn't want to interact with these unfamiliar to them humans and dogs. And what does it do to keep them away? It can growl and bark and even bite. Now, most dogs do this to keep that safety margin there. Some will try to run away, but the vast majority of dogs use that offensive defense kind of aggression. And the sad thing, and this is so perplexing on the treatment, is that behavior is reinforced. Because I don't know about you, but if I'm putting my hand toward a Rottweiler that's 120-pound dogs, or a 120-pound dog, or even a Chihuahua, and it gets all snarly on me, I'm probably going to stop. And the dog looks at that and says, oh, okay, well, that's working. I feel better. I'm going to keep doing that. It's reinforced. The technical term is negative reinforcement, but it's saying pain is stopped. I feel better.
Well, I want to dive in a little more, but I want people to know a little bit about you too, because how long have you been doing this? And were you destined as a child to be tuning pianos or making pasta? Or how did you get to the world of dog training? And you got a lot of Vanna White initials after your name, folks. He is certified by the Council for Professional Dog Trainers, the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants, member of the Association of Professional Dog Trainers, Fear Free. There's a lot of letters in that alphabet soup behind your name.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I started, it's really funny, it's a quick 30-second bio here in the dog business. I started as a cynophobic child, and cynophobia is fear of dogs, the irrational fear of dogs. When I was 5 years old, I would say, yeah, I know it's true. I like to say to people, when I would see a dog, I would just pray to God that it would just go the other direction. I was really scared. And I conquered that, I must say.
I say so.
Yeah. And so I've been messing with dogs all my life. I just have always been drawn to dogs. They never get old to me. And I've been doing dog training. And then about 13 years ago, around 2010, my wife and I, by the way, Barbara, who's just fantastic in the business, she is just as equal a part as I am in dealing with clients and doing everything. We decided in 2010 to do just behavior cases. And behavior cases, what we're saying is dogs that are 6 months and older, fear, anxiety, aggression, and phobias is all we deal in now. And sadly, Arden, no shortage. No shortage.
You know, this is a time where, this is a time when someone says, oh, business is booming. And you're like, yeah.
It's booming, but it's not good. I would love to be out of business because I love dogs.
And you've mentioned a shout out to your talented wife. There's a couple of four-leggers that are within earshot. You better say hi to.
I better say, I got Charlie, a rescue Great Pyrenees. I've had him for, about 8 years. And then I have Charlie, who is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Do you want to say, you said Charlie as the Great Pyrenees. You want to go back?
I'm sorry, Luke. I'm sorry.
Aren't you glad I have good ears? So
you do. I'm sorry. Luke is my Great Pyrenees, rescue Great Pyrenees. And then I have Charlie, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
AKA the love sponge, right?
They are. I mean, it's whenever I'm feeling bad, he's going to be there for me. But I'll tell you what, Great Pyrenees, if you know about them, they're kind of have cat personalities. They're not the most loving dog in the world. They're kind of a little bit distant sometimes. But I'll tell you what, every time I move from room to room or whenever I need him to be there, there he is. He loves me. Both my dogs do. I just love them.
And I have a dog-like cat named Pet Safety Cat Casey. So he does more tricks than most dogs. I think it's our fate in life, right?
And that cat is famous.